Good morning, everyone. Happy to Slay, and welcome to the Rise and Slay talk show. My name is Rochelle Slay, or Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. And y'all, I have a special series episode for us. This is number 4 of 4 in the From Experience to Influence series. And so today's conversation is going to be all about, what do you want to be known for? I'm a speaker, author, personal brand strategist, certified image consultant, and a proud United States Air Force veteran. So, as you come into this space, please let me know where you're streaming in from so I can give you a shout out, okay? Because you decide that you want to be here and hang out with me for a little bit and hear or participate, which I hope that's what you came to do, to add value to this discussion. Because one of the things that I have learned along the way is there is so much more that we are to do with the work that we are doing. And I'm in the space of providing meaningful impact and influence. And I'm just going to share a little bit about that as you come in. So please, all right, let's just prepare ourselves for this. Now, I've already prepared by slaying it on the treadmill and doing my boot camp workouts. Those are the ones that I really gravitate the most because I get the biggest bang for my buck. I get on the treadmill, I run hard, I lift heavy, and I get it all done in less than an hour. So hopefully you were able to move your body, or you're planning on moving your body, because here in this space, this is Slay Nation. And in Slay Nation, we are change makers, we're pioneers, we're trailblazers, we are leaders in our own right. And we have a lot of people who are watching us and following us. And so we always have to stay on top, okay? And the way that I do this is through working out, moving my body, being very mindful of my health and my fitness goals. So in the word slay, okay, because slay is where we start from, which means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. And throughout this conversation, I'll be sharing about the method for which I have built my personal brand. All right. And so I talk about personal branding as a tool that I have leveraged over the past few years to not only grow my business, but also to grow personally. And I have found out things about myself that I didn't know, that I had the desire to do after I retired. And so it just is like a full circle moment right now, but I truly believe in personal branding. I study it, I live it, I embody it, if you will. So it gives a chance for people to know me and to understand exactly what I stand for. And they'd really asking, hey, can you come in and share with us? So I do workshops, I do a lot of speaking engagements in person, online. And I also have clients, one-on-one clients that I'm working with to help build their brands, and not just any brand, a strong, memorable, personal brand. All right. So I'm glad you're here for the final of the 4 episodes, again, of the From Experience to Influence series. And if you haven't seen or watched the previous ones, you can check it out on my LinkedIn. Hey, LinkedIn. On Facebook, hey, Facebook, or on my YouTube channel. It's called Slay to Success. All right. It is not anything different than my business name. So you can go to my YouTube channel and catch the other 3 series that go along with this episode that we're going to talk about. Because over the past 3 weeks, we've really been talking about leveraging your experience. We talked about telling your story. Last week, we talked about building authority in your industry. And so tonight, I really want to, or today, sorry, I want to bring together with you this question that has the power to shape every professional decision that you make. And that is, what do you want to be known for? So, a little bit of storytelling. Before I retired, I really wanted to be known as the little girl from Kokomo, Indiana, who was able to accomplish the highest enlisted grade and the highest enlisted rank in the Air Force. Like that was my dream. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. In fact, it was challenging most times. And I really didn't know if I was going to actually achieve the dream. I think about my 26-year mark. I was having a lot of difficulty. I mean, shared with my husband, hey, I think this is it. I'm going to retire. And he's like, what are we doing? You can't get mad over one person. You've got to really evaluate your whys. I had to go back to that. And I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and complete the 30 years. So that's really what I wanted to be known for. But then after I retired, I was like, I still got gas in the tank. I want to explore some things that are a lot different from my military service, because if they said that I was as good as I was in the military, what would it look like after retirement and what could I do? So I started to pursue things on my own. Now, because I have lived a life out of my comfort zone, and I think that is one of the things that I really have discovered about myself. I love to be challenged on everything. I mean, when we start with the workouts, I'm like, okay, you say we're sprinting. All right. I'm going to sprint at the level that I can sprint at, but I'm going to try my best and I'm going to, try to get as fast as I possibly can, but I'm up for the challenge. And I saw that in military service. I'm like, I was able to do so many things that I was so scared of, y'all. I was so I felt like it was an out of body experience sometimes. And so now I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm like, it's the same, but it's a different battlefield. All right. Same leadership that I developed over the years, but now I'm in different spaces, in different places, and still seeing that I could be successful in the way that I would like for it to be. So I really want us to think about not what we're specifically doing in the industry or the career or the business or even the community that you're serving. It's not about the title. It's not about what's on your resume, but I really want you to think about, what do people immediately associate your name with? What do they immediately associate your name with? So I get text messages and DMs and emails all the time. And the word slay is attached to my name. They will send me pictures of just anything that they see. Slay in the stores, on an item, slay on license plates. They'll send me videos from like Instagram or TikTok with someone using the word slay, and they say, we automatically think of you when we hear the word slay. And I'm like, yes, that's the whole main point of this. I decided to take on this word after, one of my airmen, he passed away he lost his battle with depression. And he used to tell me that I was slaying all the time. So I took the word after he passed away. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pay homage to his life, but I'm also going to use this as a vision. And then I attach meaning to it. So if you have been following me over the past, 10 years or so, because I think that's how long I've been actually using the word slay, you will see that it has morphed and evolved as my brand has morphed and evolved and the meaning of it. So, now I refer to it as a framework for which I have built my brand, which is strategic identity, leadership, presence, aesthetic authority, and your narrative power. And I kind of walk through these steps, through these phases with my clients, and we are building the brand, and it's authentic, it's intentional. It increases your confidence level when you're trying to navigate different spaces. It's really strengthened their presence, their overall presence. And even the women that have transitioned out of the military, we have embodied the military image. And sometimes that can carry over into our next chapter and it's not serving us well. So we recalculate, we reframe, right? Re-image. I, as an image consultant, I really do think that the way that we show up, okay, through all the modalities of communication, um, is important. It's what people perceive you as. And so we do a lot of work in these different areas. But once you master these 4 areas, I'm going to tell you right now, watch out, world. Okay, here we come. Because we know what we're doing. All right. We stay consistent. We have a brand that people can actually talk about when we're not in the rooms that we can't get into because we can't be here, there, and everywhere all the time. And I know that it works because I'm being asked to go speak in places that I have never even thought existed. So let's just think about, what do people immediately associate your name with? Because whether you're intentional about it or not, people are already forming an opinion of you. And the question is whether that perception really aligns with who you really are and where you want to go. Okay, who you really are and where you want to go. So, when I decided to develop my personal brand, I didn't look at what anyone else was doing. I really went inside and did some internal work on what I wanted to express. How did I want people to experience me? And I really thought about the time when someone told me, hey, they really don't understand military structure and rank. A lot of people don't really get it. So you really have to, quote unquote, go find yourself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go find myself. But then I realized it's, where do I want to go? And where do I really want to spend my energy and my effort in? And so that's when I became an author. I first became an author of my first book called Slave to Success. And then it went into speaking. And then it went into other guidebooks where now I go and do teaching on personal branding and how to elevate your image and your executive presence. And it has just taken a different path for me. But I'm absolutely, y'all, I am enjoying every bit of it. And I want you to do the same thing for whatever you're trying to do. So we already have a personal brand. All right. So this is nothing that we have to, you know, go and research for or, try to discover on our own. We already have a personal brand. And one of the biggest misconceptions I hear all the time is, I don't have a personal brand. And I'm like, yeah, you do. Um, if people know your name, you have a personal brand, and your personal brand is your reputation. Okay, so it is a combination of your image, your communication, your leadership presence, your values, and the experiences people have with you. It's what people say about you after you have left the room. All right. Now, everyone who knows me or has been following me, and those who haven't, thank you so much for joining us on this conversation, joining the community of Slay Nation. But I wear pink every day. All right. There's some form of pink. So it may be different colors like this top that I have on, but you will see pink. My fingernails are always painted pink. My lipstick is always pink. It is definitely a signature look, and I have done it on purpose because there are not a lot of people who would show up every day in pink. And so when they see me, they associate that and like, oh, okay, I've seen her before. She's a pink lady, right? And so I want people to remember that, but I also want them to remember the experience they had with me. And pink represents a lot of the higher level of emotions, right? It's the empathy, it's the self awareness. It's being more gracious and being more kind, being open, being energetic, being fun, carefree, lighthearted. And those are some of the qualities that I discovered while I was in service, but I hid them a lot because the mission to get work done was like in this high pressured cooker that I had to maintain my decorum. And a lot of times it was the masculine energy, right? Because that's who I was around a lot of times with a lot of men. And so, a lot of men don't show emotion. And when you're trying to get your message across, I mean, you just have to find the ways. And so I was able to embody that. But then when I retired, I was like, that's not really how I want to show up every single day. All right. There's a time and place for everything. But for the majority, I really want um, people to see how approachable I am. Like I love life. I'm filled with life. And I want people to experience that when they're with me. So instead of asking yourself, do you have a personal brand? I want you to ask yourself, if is your personal brand communicating what I want to be known for? Okay. Is your personal brand communicating what you want to be known for? Because this matters in so many different ways. Think about the opportunities you want. All right. My clients, they're coming to me because they want a promotion, they want a board appointment, they want a speaking engagement, they want a leadership role, they're looking for more clients, they want media interviews, they want a new career. I'm talking about big goals. All right. We're very ambitious, we're driven. And so they're going for it, but they just need to know how to do that and be able to sustain, because people aren't going to get it right away. All right. This is something that you have to repeat over and over and over again. So before someone offers you the opportunity that you're looking to have, they ask themselves this question: is this person that we see, will they be able to represent us? Okay. So this again comes down to who's your audience, who are you talking to, because you should not be talking to everybody. If you are talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. All right. So we really have to get down to who is our audience, who we're trying to reach, because these different places and spaces, like I know, okay, that I'm not a button up type of girl. All right. What I mean is that I'm not straight laced. I am very much, colorful, bold. I love patterns and prints. Um, I don't go along just to get along. And, there's a lot of professional careers that's the expectation. All right. But I bring a different look, a different vocabulary. And so I understand who I'm talking to. So we got to make sure that we are really asking or answering the question of, are we going to be able to represent who and where we're trying to go? Your personal brand really helps that question long before you ever walk into the room. So let's go over 3 questions. Okay. I'm not going to be here for too much longer, but let's just go through these 3 questions to define what you want to be known for. So I want you to write down the answers to these questions if you have time and you're going to be watching this video later on today. Question 1 is, what do people come to you for? What do they come to you for? Is it the advice you're always giving? Is it the problems you're always solving? Is it the strengths others consistently recognize in you? Those patterns reveal part of your brand. All right. So do the work. Okay. I'm giving you some breadcrumbs right now. Okay. To developing your personal brand. But it's really, what do you want to be known for? So are they coming to you for specific things? What are those? And write those out. Question 2 is, what opportunities do you want more of? What opportunities do you want more of? Because you can't build a personal brand without knowing where you're going. I want to be a global speaker. What that means is I got to be able to hold stages and I got to have the stage presence. So I'm doing exactly what I would do on the global stage. I've created my own opportunities first through my personal brand. And so that is kind of what we need to be thinking through. All right. Do you want to become, again, a keynote speaker? You got to look like a keynote speaker. You got to act like a keynote speaker. You got to, and this is not just something that you just do, one time and then think that it's going to carry through. No, you have to show up every single time. Sometimes I go to events and people will ask me, "Are you the keynote speaker?" And I'm not. And that is exactly how I want to show up, because maybe in the future, there may be an opportunity for me to speak and they'll be like, hey, she's already ready. We see that she, knows what she's doing. Do you want to serve on boards? You want to lead in a larger organization? You want to grow your business? You want to become a trusted voice in your industry? Your brand should support those goals all day, every day. All right. And then the last question is, what are the words do you want people to associate your name with? Now, it could be any words. Now, I chose three. Like I said before, pink is one of the ones, the aesthetic look, if you will, and that is part of the aesthetic authority. And this is how I have been able to build. My wardrobe is pinked out, right? And I absolutely love it, because when I go and I open up my closet, I'm like, yes, it's a bunch of pink. Like, which pink am I wearing today? But it's part of the strategy. So I'm very strategic. I know I'm authentic, and I know that I'm intentional. These are the three things that I want people to walk away with every single time. Maybe you're wanting them to see that you're confident, or that you're a visionary, or that you're trusted. So, does your profiles, either on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, emails, websites, all the places that people can find you, does it reflect those words? Okay. Does your professional image reflect that? Does your communication, does your online presence? If not, you've already identified a gap and you got some work to do. Okay. I'm constantly working on my personal brand. I work on my personal brand every single day. Right? Because this is something that I understand and know very well. And so, what you need to do is spend a little bit of time and think these things through. And this is the clarity that you can get right out the gate. Now, I go and I walk through a whole clarity session with my clients, because I want them to take a look at all the things that they have accomplished over their years, and then take and draw out the most important parts of it, and then use that to leverage in their personal brand journey. So, um, I would never want my brand to be defined by anyone else. And I don't want your brand to be defined by anyone else either. So please don't let that happen to you, because they'll get it wrong every single time. And before you know it, people are going to be associating with something that you don't have any ties to. And then you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get upset. You're going to be like, what are we doing? I'm wasting a lot of time and energy on people that I don't relate to. And we're not in alignment. Okay. So, again, I help my clients to align their personal brand, their professional image, their executive presence, their visibility, their leadership identity. So, when these opportunities actually arise, they are already positioned for them. All right. Being qualified is important. All right. Now, I'm not going to say that. Being excellent is important. Hard work is important for sure. But being recognized as qualified is what really creates the opportunity. So, your next action step. So, I already gave you 3 questions to kind of go through. So, before we meet again, before the next episode of the Rise and Slay Talk Show, I want you to complete this sentence. I want to be known as a leader who, and you just write it into the blank. All right. So, what needs to change? What do you need to work on? Is your image part? Is the messaging? Is your visibility strategy? Because everything needs to support that system. And that answer really becomes your roadmap. Now, I do know that some people will be able to take what I am saying and they can just run with it, right? But I do know there are some of us that need some extra support. So how I offer that is through a Slate to Success audit, all right, which is complimentary. All you have to do is reach out to me and say, hey, you know what, Queen, can you send me the Slate to Success audit? And I will send you the audit. I even got a bonus gift for you. Okay. So you get the bonus gift because I believe that every one of us has the opportunity to do what I'm doing. And I have not worked. Okay. And I'm just saying that I have not worked since I retired. I did have an independent contract job where I was providing some work on a W-2. But since then, I, I work for myself. I'm very self employed. This is what I do all day. I have clients that I work with. I had speaking engagements. I'm getting ready to fly out to Purdue University next week. Thank you, Sheila, for the opportunity to actually speak on your platform. And so it's like these things are possible if this is what you want to pursue. So you get the complimentary Slate to Success audit, you get a little bonus gift, and then you have an opportunity to meet with me for a Slate to Success strategy session. And in this session, we go over your audit, all right, whatever results you came up with. And I tell you, based on your audit, what you need to be doing and how you can close some gaps. And it's as simple as that. Now, I do have some clients who are like, you know what, Queen, I want the full kit and caboodle. All right. I want all the things. And I'm like, okay, well, then that's when we go into Slate to Success experience, because the experience is going to get you there. Okay. It's going to get you all the way there. And I have clients you've seen through the video, the introductory video to this show, where they have taken on and have been one of my Slate to Success experience clients, and they are building their personal brand in the industry that they want to be. And I'm telling you, they are slaying all the things. Okay. Some have gotten new jobs, some have been appointed to boards, some have gotten multiple speaking engagements within months. I mean, not even 3 months, is less than 90 days. They get speaking engagements, and they're writing books, and they're finding platforms to express their brand on, and they're being highly successful in that. So I'll tell you, there's a lot of people who are coaching, and they're providing that type of service. And I'm more in the strategy space. All right, we're going to use the experience, the skills, and the expertise that we already have. All right, because we can and we should, because there's no story like your own story to share. And so all this is to strengthen your visibility and position you for the opportunities that you desire and you deserve. So I really want to thank you for joining the last episode in the Experience to Influence series. Again, if you have not checked out the others, go to my Slate to Success YouTube channel and check those out. Or you can dig around into my pages on Facebook and LinkedIn and, watch them and let me know what you think, and let me know how your personal brand journey is going. So thank you so much for all those that have been able to listen in. And for those that come back and watch the replay, just put in #replay and let me know your thoughts. But most importantly, y'all, I want you to keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I will see you all very soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye.